We have part 2 of my interview with Shelby J coming at you now. Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend. We're going to be going into the second half of the conversation that I had with Shelby J. You guys are in for a treat. Oh yeah. I guess the question for me would be like, writing on such like a deep level, how do you transition to like writing like a classic dance song, like stuck you in a rut, come shake your butt, something like that, like if everything, like, are you looking to possibly write just some dance tracks? Or
I'm a creative being, so things come through me. I'm a vessel, so things just come through me that all the time. I mean, I'm writing all the time. I could be walking down the street, going, at the gym. I have my phone. I'm always recording little things. And Prince be like, "You're a hook machine," because I would come up with little, sayings like from my grandma, my this, and just everything that went into me. I say it. He's like, "That's a song. That's a song. Record that, write that down." So he's like, "I'm gonna follow you around with a tape recorder." I'm like, okay. But I just want to be a vessel for even, and trust that. So no matter if something comes to me and it's like, just like you said, stuck in, I don't know what you just said, but it could be like, wallpaper cucumber, if that comes through me, then it could be just the beat and then the lyrics could change. But I trust that not everything becomes a song, but I just let it have its space of whatever it is, if it's funky, if it's slow, if it's whatever. But I'm definitely influenced by what I'm experiencing in my life and what's happening around me. I look at what's happening around me. I feel that. I'm very susceptible to that energy. That's why I watch where I put myself, because I'm so open. I feel it. So in some places I don't even want to be, because it's like I can literally like feel the spikes. It's like, no. I don't need to be in this space. So I try to definitely guard my energy and put myself in spaces that, are right, and that I can feel that vibe. Like,
yeah, it's self-care is super important. Seriously.
Yeah.
Super important.
Yeah. And these are things you kind of learn. You might not know them when you're 25. You have to learn these things. So
sorry that I took us on a weird tangent. So going back to 10, one of the things that I actually really love about this album is, first off, how good it is, but the knowledge that it's all you. You created Black Gypsy music, mm-hmm. and you are, you put it out yourself, you arranged it yourself, you hired all the musicians, you did it all. So first off, I commend you for that. Second off, how was that process for you kind of jumping into it with both feet? And is that something that you're looking to do with future releases? Or, is this something that you would suggest to other people as well?
Well, I just think you have to do for me, I needed to get my music out. And Prince would always be like, get your music out, figure it out, get your, and I would say, you can wait for your ship to come in, or you can learn how to swim. I'm like, you waiting for somebody, it's like, no, my goal is to get my music out to the people. So I'm going to figure out how to do that. And with the beauty of technology, you couldn't do stuff like this back in the, 70s, right. 80s. You just didn't have the tools. But now that technology has allowed an independent artist to be able to reach everybody in the world, just like on the computer right here now, you can reach everyone with your music. And it's not filtered through a company that says, okay, you created these 11 pieces of work and only 3 of them we deem good enough to put out to people. So the other 8 will never be heard, and it's still art, and it could still speak to someone. So there's a certain amount of freedom that you have when you can independently put your art out to people. It's beautiful. The back end of that is, or the rub, as I would say, is you have to be willing to do the work. You have to really be willing to do the work. And I have a great team. I mean, my manager is amazing. My musicians are amazing. But when you do an independent album, you definitely have to be able to know that you just can't be the artist and just grab a microphone and sing. There's the business part of it. There is the studio booking and the engineers and the musicians, and then the paperwork aspect of it. But you learn so much, and that's the thing. It's like every time you have to do something new, you learn something if you're smart. And so I learned a lot about how to put out an album independently so I can do it anytime I want. That doesn't mean that if God blesses me with an amazing opportunity to where my music can then reach more through this company who comes in and says, hey, Shelby, we're feeling this. We want to help you. I'll definitely take that love so they can help me get my music out to even more people, or publicize it more, or market it more. If they have, a bigger budget, something like that. I'm totally open to that. The goal is to get the music and the messages to the people. So however God facilitates that, I'm open to. And I trust it. My job is to create the art. And it's like, create the art. Just create the art, and the way will be made.
Exactly. No, and that's kind of the thing. It's like, Prince was kind of the mastermind behind like all of that. I've actually done videos on my channel where I discuss like there wasn't anybody giving music directly to their fans before Prince started doing it,
Right.
So, it's kind of interesting that you kind of learn from the master almost in this kind of arena.
Taught me so much. And it was just, like I told somebody, it's like learning computers from, Steve Allen or Bill Gates. It's like, Bill Gates is like, I'm studying with Prince, not only his music, but he would say, I'm teaching you this for your band. You need to know these things. He was very aware of that. He was very aware of the future Shelby, the future Ida, the future Liv, the future Morris, the future Adrian. He was very aware of that, and he embraced it. But he wanted to make sure that he imparted those good things to us, not just be good for me, for what I need you for, but these are the things you need to know so that you can prosper long after me, and that you can understand about your band and about your masters and about your publishing and about all the business side of things. And I really thank him for that. I really, truly thank him for that, because, he taught us how to fish,
Definitely. Now, speaking of your band, you have a show at the Capri coming up in April, right?
Yes, that I'm putting on with my team. We are our own promoters, and that's something else I learned from Prince. Like, you don't always have to wait for somebody to say, hey, please book me, do this, book me. Hey, you know what? Put on your own show. There are people that want to see my show, and they're all coming to Minneapolis because of Prince. He gave me this amazing audience of family now and Purple friends that he did that, and they're all going to be there. And they were like, Shelby, we're only coming here. We're flying in from so-and-so. We've never seen your show. We missed the Dakota. Are you going to do something? And I talked to Monica, and we were like, can we pull this off? And I could hear Prince in my head going, of course you can. Of course you can. You can do both. And I was like, yeah, we can do this. So we can facilitate, just like putting together my album. You figure out what you need and the tools and the resources and the people to make it happen, so that I can give the people the show and the experience that they want. And I'm motivated by that. I'm like, they're coming here. I'm like, I'm definitely doing a Shelby show. So we're almost sold out, but we have tickets left. I'm doing a 7:00 and a 10:00, and it's going to be a show, but it's also going to be like a hang, meet and greet. I'm going to have special people coming through. It's like, come to my house. And that night, my house is the Capri, and I'm honoring Prince with that, because about his 1979 show there. And and I saw some of those pictures, and I looked, I was like, man, this is just great. And they're doing their fundraiser for the Capri, and they have so many wonderful programs. And Prince was all about that, and I am too. It's about the next generation of artists and engineers and musicians and young kids, 14, 15, 16, that need to have a space and a place to cultivate their art and their dreams. You have to give them the opportunity. So anything that I see that I can help with that as well, I can do my show, and then we're donating $4 from every ticket to the Capri off top. to help with that, it's like it's a no brainer. I'm like, we're doing this, and I can hear Prince being like, do that.
Definitely. And you're going to be one of the last people to perform in the Capri in its current state before it gets completely renovated and stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be some real special energy in that place that night. I can already feel it. So, and I'm excited and honored that they're letting me come and do that before they close down. I'll be like you said, one of the last people on that stage. So it's gonna be hot.
So speaking of the show at the Capri that you have, you're also part of Celebration because you're doing Prince Live on the big screen again this year, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna honor our brother, my brother. So it's gonna be beautiful, and definitely doing when I say what Pete taught us. He's like always, do me. But I want to hear your stuff too, Shelby. I want to hear your stuff. He would tell that to all of us. Like, 1999 is fine. I know you know that, but also make sure you're singing your music. What about your music? So I'm doing both, and that's how I'm honoring him as well. So it starts with Shelby J at the Capri, and then it's going to be Shelby. You're going to see me at Paisley Park. You're definitely going to see me Prince Live on the big screen, and I cannot wait to be back on stage with my Purple brothers and sisters. It's going to be epic.
So we have Shelby on Thursday night at the Capri at Celebration, and then on Friday night, that's Prince Live on the big screen, correct?
Yeah, I got some might pop on through there, a little something.
So one of the things that I want to say is I have used you as kind of my link to that show. So Prince Live on the big screen, again, I don't like to assume that everybody's seen all my videos and whatnot, but my review of that was very tearful. And it essentially was that, I was there, and it almost that type of show kind of brought out those emotions, and it made me miss him, and I was bawling the whole night.
Yeah. I know exactly how you felt, because I know what I felt, because, here's my brother that I'm right here with singing, 6 inches apart. And I know I will never be able to do that again in this plane. But when we do that on that screen, it brought back a feeling in me that I didn't think I would feel again, And I didn't know until we did it. I didn't know what it was going to feel like to be singing with him on a screen, but it brought back like just the memory of it. It was a joy. It felt good. It felt so good, and I did not know, because I'd never done anything like that before. And it felt so good. I was like, I want to do it again.
Yeah,
I want to do this again, because I get to be with my partner, and it was just beautiful. I get to relive that moment and feel that feeling. And I was just hoping that people out there watching were feeling what I was feeling too.
Yeah. And you were and again, like, you were definitely my link to that show. Like, you made that show probably way more enjoyable than it would have been without your involvement. So like, I appreciate you for that. And also I appreciate you for the show with the Funk Soldiers that you did the following day on Saturday at Celebration.
I was working, wasn't I?
Oh my Lord. And like, that's the concert where you're singing, Prince Live on the big screen is all the hits. And then you get the second day with the Funk Soldiers. And, I almost felt like I was like one of a handful of people who was right there with you.
Oh, another set. You really had to dig deep. We did some B-sides and some C-sides and some D-sides.
Yeah. So I definitely want to thank you for that, because I was, I left Live on the big screen and I was tearful and I was in my own emotions and I was feeling some kind of way. Mm-hmm. And then I went and I saw you, and you were kind of my link to that, and you brought it back, and I was like, I'm good again because of Shelby. So I did, and Kip and the rest of the Funk Soldiers. But again, like, you, like, in my opinion, you're it at this point.
Well, thank you. I would just say thank you for the love. I appreciate it. I'm just doing what I'm being led to do, and I'm doing what I love to do. So the fact that you're feeling it like that, and I'm cool with that. It's like I'm on the right track, because that's what motivates me.
You're doing it, and you're doing it well, most definitely.
I'm here for the first time. I'm doing my new song, God Is Here, for the first time live at the Capri.
Well, that's cool. And that's actually, I was going to transition into God Is Here. It sounds like that is a live recording Is that live or is that
Those are
studio?
live musicians. Those are Courtney Butler, Josh Boyd, Michael Yelverton, North Carolina cats. My church brothers recorded the whole thing. There's like the church, and there's a studio area where you can record everything. And those are all live cats. And Adrian Crutchfield did the horn arrangement.
Very cool.
Well, very, very cool. So I'm very proud of that song. And
Yeah, I dug it, and it was interesting because I didn't actually even know that it was a thing until I think it was a few weeks ago when I was just looking. I was like, oh, I wonder what Shelby's doing, and I was like, oh, there were two tracks. So there's God Is Here, which I'm going to be putting up a review of that as well. So if you're watching, look out for that. But also there was one called North Carolina that you sang with Anthony Hamilton.
wow, 2012. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, new to me. So
I know it's new to you. I love that though. Isn't it beautiful how music does it? I always say music ain't milk. There's no expiration date. I love that you can, today hear something that I recorded 7 years ago and hear it for the very first time. Like somebody can put on a Aretha Franklin record or something from, a Muscle Shoals, session and hear it for the first time 40 years later. And it's new to them, so it's new to you today, even though it's like 7 years old. And it's like, I love that because they're my babies. And it's like, oh my God, you're in North Carolina. And, that was such a beautiful song to do. There's such a meaning when I hear the songs, like when you just say God Is Here, people don't even understand that that song came to me while undergoing radiation for breast cancer.
wow.
On the table, literally. That is how real that song was. And when I got up, I'm a breast cancer survivor. I'm so thankful about that. I shared that on Christmas Day when I released the song. And God sent me that song. I got up from the table. My nurses were like, where are you going? I was like, I've got to get this recorded in my phone, which is like next door where you like change clothes. And so I'm in there. I was just like, this is just so weird. I'm in there in the little room recording it. I never even wrote a lyric down for this song. It was all boom. And I just put it in my phone and I was like, I've got to record this song. I've got to record this song. Because when I was laying there, sometimes when you're going through things, you can feel alone. And I just kept telling myself, I was like, you are never alone. I know there's this big machine around you making all this noise, but God is here. He is always with you. He is moving where you can't see. And that's where that song came from. So
yeah. And it seems to feed into your kind of overall UMI movement. Tell us a little bit about the UMI movement here.
The UMI movement.
UMI. Okay. I guess the UMI movement. Yeah.
I'm all about uplifting, motivating, and inspiring. That's what it's about. So that's going to be through music. That's going to be through film. That's going to be through literature. That's going to be through everything that I touch. That's what I want. I want it to uplift, motivate, and inspire children, people my same age, people older. I want to be that change I want to see. Like I would hear something on the radio and I'm like, this is just horrible. How can you listen to this and be happy? How can it make you feel good about life? How can you and instead of complaining about stuff, it's like, you know what? Make your contribution, You can always complain about what somebody else is doing, but what are you doing to balance that, balance that with your stuff then make sure that's there so people want that, make it available to them and you put that out. So with me, I'm like, okay, self, I'm going to make sure I do that and that I stay focused on that and that I live that every day. And I'm human. I have, good days and bad days, but I really, really believe our happiness is always a choice, even when you're going through divorce, radiation, life, going this way when you think it should go this way. You just have to go to the light. You just always, even when the darkness is pulling you this way, you want to go to the light. And I think that you need tools to help you do that. So I want to provide those tools through my art to help not only myself, but to help others feel uplifted. So when they hear a song, it changes their whole thing, because it can make them go like this, or it can make them go like this, So I want to make them go like this when they hear it, when they see it, when they read it. Yeah.
I love that. And again, that's one of the things that I really, one of the things, because I love many things about 10, but that's one of the things that I really loved about the album, and pretty much just you in general. Now, you said that you've seen some of my videos and stuff. I did recently release a video that I was super proud of. It was called "Prince Was a Modern Day Sage."
Oh yeah.
And it's where I kind of explain what a sage is. It's not a term that's used a lot nowadays.
Yeah.
But then gave some examples of quotes and compared Prince to other historical sages and essentially just saying that, Prince to me was a teacher, like both in words, lyrics, through his actions, through his demeanor, pretty much everything that you just said about what you're trying to do. Like I got that from Prince pretty much my entire life.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, like, if you got to see the video, because I don't know if you've had time. I know you're getting ready for the Grammys and stuff, but I would love to hear what your thoughts were about that subject.
I thought it was tight. I really did. I thought it was very educational and cool. So I learned some stuff and I got it. I when you were talking about the difference between a philosopher and a sage and what the difference, and one is not the other. Like success is doing what you were put here to do and having it change the world. And that's how I feel. That's what I feel Prince absolutely did. And that's what I want to do as well in my part. But I really feel that it's bigger than me. It's bigger than him. And it was really well done. I watched it. See, I be watching. I be watching.
I appreciate you watching that and giving your thoughts on that. Cause like, I put so much of myself into that video.
Yeah.
You even saw the pictures of me as a kid, like, goofy looking pictures, but
Yeah, and I did this interview with Mate right before we did a tribute, and something that you said when you talked about using your art, you're changing the world and his lyrics. I said something in that interview that reminded me. It came back to me when I watched yours. It said, I told him Prince's lyrics were like a roadmap. I said it's a roadmap to how we're supposed to live, not so much as, when we get over there, how we're supposed to live here,
yes.
Like in this right now, like not like we're going to all love each other over here and everything's going to be beautiful over here. It's like, no, this is how it's supposed to be here. Listen to what I'm saying right now. And so I really connected with that part of your interview. And I was like, yes, because his lyrics are that roadmap. When you really listen, there's a lot of stuff where you want to shake and everything like that, but he slides that stuff in there and it's like, oop, lesson, oop, nugget, oop, roadmap, and he shines a spotlight on the things that we all know that are there that we want to change, need to change. He just shines that spotlight so you're aware, like pay attention, don't get so distracted by all this nonsense. Pay attention. This is happening.
Yeah.
But just the way that he did it, it was beautiful because it's like giving somebody medicine, knowing how to give it to them so they'll not even know they're taking medicine until after they feel better. Like, you'd be like, was that medicine? I feel so good now.
Yeah, but Prince had an iconic line for me, which was, you never would have drank my coffee if I had never served you cream. Right. And I love that line because it speaks so much to the delivery that he would. So it'd be like, yeah, this is funky, but there's some messages in there too,
Yeah. I love now that generations, he's transitioned, and I love that generations coming up behind can listen to his music for decades and eons and forever and ever. And really, because it's so, it's right on right now. Like you're listening to stuff from 80, it's right here, right now. It applies right here, right now. More so than ever in this climate that we're in, when you hear songs about, love for one another and stuff, and you see, the divisiveness and everything, it's like, man, listen, get on the boat. We can float together. We can all sink together.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Now, speaking of, kind of Prince's music through the ages and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hearkening back to a question I asked you at the beginning of the interview, which was, what was your favorite thing that you did with him?
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing that you had zero involvement with that he put out?
Wow. Well, the favorite thing, let me just say this. My favorite recording was Chelsea Rogers. The favorite thing that I did with him as far as performance was the Super Bowl. Like that's in a whole, live,
Yeah.
that's forever. But that I wasn't a part of, it would have to be the Purple Rain soundtrack.
Okay.
Like I was 12. I remember that. It changed my whole life. It changed everything. Baby, I'm a Star. Come on, man. It's just those songs spoke to me. And then the movie, it just, I watch it now, and it's funny because that's my brother and my, I'm in this band and everything, but you never know when you're 12 and this music is speaking to you and you're jumping around, singing the words, Baby, I'm a Star, and you're feeling this music and you sing and you want to do this music, that life and God are going to lead you to be making music with this person. But even now, I love that Purple Rain album. I love so much the song God.
Yeah.
Which is basically, it's so well done. And I love that. That's definitely, the Revolution. Come on. It's like,
Yeah, there's special guests at Celebration this year, which I'm excited about.
I'm a fan, and it's just so funny because it's like I'm a fan, and I love and I respect them, but I definitely I get geeked, when it's like Wendy and Lee, I get geeked. I'm just like, oh my gosh, because I remember, those scenes, and I have such love for everything that they did, and I understand they work with Prince at a different time,
right?
But it's like he's our common denominator, and that was 84 Prince, and I'm 2006 to 2016. So it's the common denominator. So their experiences and their stories, there's some overlaps, and there's things, he's different, he's growing, he's, back then he's, in the raincoat back then, going way back with the little drawers on, and I get him, he's in the suits, and he had many layers, and all of those people along the way. And I'm like, we're just all chapters in his book too. And I love the fact that now, even though he's not here, one of the beautiful things about us celebrating them is we get to meet each other and vibe with each other and talk to each other. And, we share this very strong human, and some of us, had never even met until his passing. So
it's so on point that you say it that way too, because it's like, when I think about myself, like I said in my videos, as me as like a little 11-year-old boy who has now discovered this music, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, and I'm transcribing it, and I'm like learning everything I can and buying every album and like immersing myself so deep in it. And I would have never thought that 25, 30 years later after that, like I get to be so deep in the community and this stratosphere and being able to talk to amazing people like you. So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. So I'm pretty sure that that's all of my questions. I think the last question that I have would be, I'm a Shelby friend. We use friend instead of fan around here. Do you have anything you want to say to all the Shelby friends that might be watching this interview?
Wow. I want to say thank you for supporting my music, for accepting me, for being me, and for loving me unconditionally and watching me grow from, a lot of people from 2006 Shelby up to 2019 Shelby. I want to thank them for supporting all of my projects, especially my store, the Branded by MJM store that launched with all of my merch, my hats, my Supernova hats, my t-shirts. All of that is helping me with my breast cancer journey. And people they were like, how can we help, Shelby? How can we help with your medical bills? How can we help you? And I was like, you can help me by supporting my store. Definitely appreciate that. So they're showing up, and they don't have to, they don't have to do that. So I just wanted to say thank you for everybody. And even if you didn't have the money to do anything like that, thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your positive energy that you're sending to me. I feel it, and I'm thankful for it. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
That's awesome. I want to say thank you for being on Prince's Friend and coming and talking with me. It has been a ball. You are on. I have a very short list of those people I be so excited to interview. Coming up with the questions to interview you with was super easy because I wrote them a year ago just in case I got this opportunity. So trust me, it's
They're ready.
Oh, I was ready. I was ready for you. I was ready for you.
Nice.
Definitely. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with me.
And thank you for giving me this platform to talk about Prince, whom I love and who I will always be grateful and thankful for the opportunities that he gave me and for the lessons that he taught me. So thank you for letting me talk about that and to talk about my music and everything, because you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm just getting started.
Oh, I can't wait. I really hope that you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Shelby is one of my all-time favorites, and it was an honor for me to have her on my show. I'm going to put a link to her store in the description so you guys can go, and if you want to support Shelby J, you definitely can. Also, if you want to check us out on social media, you can hit us up at Princess Friend YT on Twitter and Instagram. You can support our channel directly by becoming a patron at patreon.com/princessfriend, where you can, for as little as $2 a month, help the channel out a lot. Otherwise, may you live to see the dawn. Thank you again to Shelby. I hope to be speaking to you again soon in the future.